But I do want to leave you all with this information for anybody that is in the military or about to join. Do not waste your leave. Do not run through your leave. Like he said, you only get 30 What? You only get 30 days a year, and depending on how you spend it, how you what your travel pockets is looking like, you do want to save some leave. I do not suggest taking all 30 at one time. Welcome to my life as I live it. I'm Army Princess, the mother, wife, and soldier, and I want to share this journey with you. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss a moment of it. If you're with me, women, let me hear you say. Hey everybody, it's Army Princess here, and welcome back to my channel. So I have my guest on with me again, and we are going to talk about leave in the military. So I've been getting a few questions about how leave works, how vacation works, how it works when you're sick and you need to be off from work. So I thought that we come on together and do a joint video and answer those questions for you. We have both been in the military for over 10 years, so we have lots of experiences and knowledge and wisdom that we love to share with you all. So thank you for all of your questions. Thank you all to my new subscribers who have subscribed, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is how leave works in the military in general. So
overall, the military is one of the jobs that is very generous with off time as far as vacation time. The military gives you 30 days of vacation time a year. You get 2.5 days a month, I believe. And so you get 30 days of vacation time a year.
Which is paid time off.
Paid time off. Now the flip side of that is if you take time off over a weekend, then that counts towards the time you took off. So for example, if you take time from a Monday to Monday, then you get charged, quote unquote, 8 days of leave, including that Saturday and Sunday and that Monday you took off. So your Saturday and Sundays are included, but you get 30 days of leave. And then we're just talking about leave, which is overall time. So I'll just stick to leave for now. And then if you to request your leave, there is a request process that you fill out a leave request form, and it goes through your supervisor and then to your commander. And different units have different policies on how far in advance it needs to be in. That's local policies that govern that. But you fill out the request form, you let them know the area you will be in during your leave time, and that's mostly for accountability. The military is one of the is a job in which you are on call 24/7. Get the chances of getting recalled are not very high all the time. So you do put down the location you'll be in and your phone number where you could be reached, and you request your time off. The commander approves or denies it, and
they do have the right to deny your leave.
Yes, they do. They do.
They can deny it.
They can deny it. I will say, in the over 10 years I've been in, I don't think I've ever been denied leave at all. Military is a very family-friendly organization in general, but they have asked if I can move my leave because of work, and if I could, I would. If I couldn't because I was going to a graduation, a wedding, or something, then I would let them know why. And it was just one of those conversation, some communication pieces. But leave is a very big part of the military, of the Army, or military in general. So. And
I will add, because I just thought of it, for people that are pregnant and maternity leave, they just changed the regulation where you now get 12 weeks of paid maternity leave after the baby is born. So I know a lot of jobs, they don't really pay you while you're on maternity leave. They will hold your position, but they won't necessarily pay you. So when I have my baby, I will get 12 weeks of paid maternity leave, and it's not counted against my actual 30 days a year that I get. So it's 12 weeks on top of the leave time that I already have, which is pretty awesome because I don't know a lot of jobs that do that. So
very few. So going into that is called convalescent leave. And if you have a medical procedure or anything that requires you to heal, or I don't know the exact wording, but to rehabilitate to where you can't work, the military doctors, or any doctor actually, will recommend that you stay home for a certain amount of time, and they will go to your commander for approval, and the commander has the overall authority to grant it, shorten it, or maybe probably even lengthen it, extending it. Yes. So that is convalescent leave. Any medical procedures, say you have, knee surgery or ankle surgery, and you need to stay home for 3 to 4 weeks. That is, as Ashley stated, 3-4 weeks. In addition, that doesn't count against your 30 days of leave time. That is paid time off that you are recovering from your injuries or procedures or whatever the case may be. So that also is a perk. There is another perk. Well, I wouldn't say perk, but another right, or not right, something you could request. If a family member, or if you need to give care to them, you can request up to 10 days, I believe, of what they call permissive TDY, to be with them if they need your constant care. You can request that time off also, of paid time off. I think the max is 10 days. But that goes through your commander, and you have to be their primary caregiver, of course, and justify that you need to be home to take care of them, get a letter from their doctor. We're getting into the things that doesn't happen often. But another thing that happens often, the military offers, is 4-day weekends.
Oh yes, 4-day weekends and training holidays.
Let me tell you, that thing is...
So we gotta talk about overseas, because I get people that are going overseas, or they have the option to re-enlist and get stationed overseas, and they don't go overseas. But a perk about being overseas, for the most part, not every unit, every place, but 4-day weekends, a lot of 4-day weekends overseas.
So overseas is big on 4-day weekends. I think it's helpful because you're away from your family, or you're away from your extended family, being overseas, whether you're in Korea, Japan, Hawaii is considered overseas, or Europe. And a lot of units there have a policy in which they have one 4-day weekend a month.
So we got to talk about what a 4-day weekend is.
Yes, so a 4-day weekend is a weekend in which the military gives you a training holiday in conjunction with a federal holiday. So for example, in January, you have
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King weekend. Yes, that's correct. Martin Luther King weekend. So I think that's the 3rd weekend in January. That Monday is a federal holiday. So the military typically, I don't say local units, each unit or MACOM, Major Command, or whatever the case may be, will give that Friday off as a training holiday, which makes a 3-day weekend into a 4-day weekend. Mm-hmm. Amazing. It's just like a free day. And then if you think about, if every month you have a 4-day weekend, it's 12 free days off.
And it's not counted towards your leave, so you're just off for 4 days every month, especially overseas. In the States, it's not so much, but a lot of times you still either get a 3-day or a 4-day. We're always usually off on the federal holiday, depending on the job. Not every job, but depending on the job, you're typically off for the federal holiday, and then if it falls on a Monday, then usually that Friday, like he said, you'll be off for a training, what they call a training holiday.
So most jobs have that, unless you're working like shift work or
like me in the medical field.
Yeah, hospitals.
People still get sick on holidays and training holidays, so we have to work.
So, but majority of the military gives you that. I think there's like 15 training holidays. I think a year. I think we counted it one day. It's like 10 or 20 to 15 because, for example, in November there's 2. You get Veterans Day and then Thanksgiving. So a very big plus. And if you're overseas, Europe is very popular for this. It's a big thing in Europe which in June there's no federal holiday in June, so they just annotate. They just set aside a Friday and a Monday, and you get Friday and Monday off. You get a 4-day weekend in June. I think June and August are the 2 months where there's no federal holidays, and they just make it up, and you get one. So every month you get a 4-day weekend in Europe. But if you're not, like Ashley said, in the States, most months have a federal holiday in it. So you already know when that federal holiday comes up, 4-day weekend.
So we're getting into the fall time. Fall, of course, has a lot of holidays. So people look forward to, what is this, Labor Day?
Columbus Day coming up.
Well, September is Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
And then October is Columbus Day. And then you have 2 in November, which he said Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. And then December you have Christmas, and then New Year's, and then right after that you have Martin Luther King, and then February is President's Day. So you get a lot of days off back to back, which is a perk. You don't have to actually use your leave days. Back to back.
Yep. So it is a perk. You get a lot of free days off. Another thing is if you get sick, we kind of dabbled into it, convalescent leave. But if you get sick, so one thing with all those things we mentioned. The military doesn't have sick days. So it's not like, hey, we've been
I don't feel good today, I'm gonna call in.
Yeah, there's no call in the military, unfortunately. Sorry. It's not happening, Captain.
You get drunk on a Sunday night because you hung out too long, too late, you still gotta come into work on Monday.
Drag yourself to PT. But if you're sick and you're like, you got the flu or something, strep throat, like you just down bad, then you go to sick call, what they call it, what the military's popular term is. But basically, you just make a medical appointment early that morning, though. And you have to go in that morning. You can't just go in at like 12 or whatever the case may be. But whatever your unit policy is, that's what you have to follow. And then if the doctor says, hey, this person is sick and they really can't go to work, they write you a note and you get what's called quarters, quote unquote, and they give you a certain amount of days off. If the doctor deems that you need to be home for 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, those are paid. That is paid time off. So it's a plus. The military does take care of their people. They don't want you spreading strep throat or flu,
Ebola,
or bird flu. Hey, I was quarantined one time, and they thought I had what was that thing that was going around?
Swine flu.
Yeah, the swine flu. I had a simple cough, and they was like, you gotta shoot. I was like, it was paid time off though. I was in there chilling, reading books. Yeah, you did. I was bored. Remember, I was chilling,
over there.
And they brought the food to you and all. It was crazy. Anyway, we digress. But yeah, so they will. They give you time off. You get a lot of time off in the military. But let me tell you, you work for it. Uncle Sam gets his money's worth out of you.
And his time.
And his time. Because all that stuff we mentioned, those 3 days, those 4 days, those, what else did we talk about? Oh, sick days still. Those 3 days and 4 days, man, when you deploy, poof, they gone. Not happening, Captain. And your weekend's not going, it's gone too. So, I only dropped that in because, you know me, people be like, well, it's not fair that the military can, retire after 20 years. Yeah, listen, we worked for ours. That 20-year retirement, I know I'm very biased, but it's well deserved. But that's another video, I guess. But yeah, it's a lot of free time. Sorry.
But I do want to leave you all with this information for anybody that is in the military or about to join. Do not waste your leave. Do not run through your leave. Like he said, you only get 30 What? You only get 30 days a year, and depending on how you spend it, what your travel pockets is looking like, you do want to save some leave. I do not suggest taking all 30 at one time, or even taking like 20 days, 14 days at one time, unless it's for a good cause or you need to, or you really just need a vacation. But you always want to at least keep some leave. I would say at least minimum 5 to 10 days of leave in case of an emergency. You never know what could happen with family members or anything where you might need to use your leave, and you don't want to not have any because you wasted it or you went on vacation every month or whatever the case may be, and then you have to end up going in the hole and paying back leave because you don't have any.
It's very hard to go in the hole, but I will tell you, exigent circumstances are probably required. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I've seen people do it. But yes, that is my little tidbit of information.
Cool.
Don't use all your leave. I didn't use all my leave.
Man, I used to, man. I need to go need to sit at home in Michigan. Alright, use your leave to go sit at home in Michigan. Save my leave to go
I did
travel.
use like 25 days of leave at one time.
To sit at home in Michigan.
Because that was a 14-hour flight. So.
Like I said, to sit at home in Michigan. When you was living in Japan, you could have seen places in
Yes, I should have used it to travel
Asia.
in Asia. Because now we got to go back.
We don't have to do nothing. What you saying?
Yeah, we do.
What's Asia?
Yeah, we ride the elephants in Taiwan.
That's
Thailand.
probably Thailand. If you have any Thailand viewers, I apologize for her lack of knowledge of your country. You know what I mean? Don't blame her heart, blame her head.
Alright guys, well this is the end of this video. We wanted to talk about leave and how military leave works. So, if you all have any questions, make sure you leave them below in the description box. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Hey, if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like, what are you waiting on? Go now.